I guess a good place would be to start be Vancouver. I mean, coming on in the second half, it had been a while since you saw action, more than, I think, around 8 months or so. How did it feel to be back out there?
Yeah, it felt good. I mean, obviously pre-season I felt good. Then I picked up something, the pitch was a little bit slippery. But yeah, ultimately it felt good. Felt good to be back with the boys. Felt good to be back on the pitch, back on the ball. And yeah, hopefully I can build on from that.
How are you feeling? Like, is it fully recovered? I mean, do you still sort of feeling some of the lingering?
No, I feel pretty good.
Yeah.
I feel pretty fit now. Obviously, when you come off a surgery, sometimes it can linger, but for the most part, I feel like pretty good. Feel like I'm back up to speed, I'd say.
Have you ever dealt with an injury like this, or been out for this long before in your career, Zane? Or
I'm not.
This was a new experience?
Yeah, this was my first surgery.
Right.
First time being out for like an extended period like this. So yeah, at times it was tough to deal with, obviously mentally and stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, I got through it. It was. I knew that there'd be light at the end, so that kind of helped my mindset to just stay strong and keep going.
Was that the key to getting through it?
Yeah.
Cincinnati, it's a tough place to go, and you guys didn't have a great deal of success against them last year. I'm wondering, just from looking at Sunday's game, what do you expect to see from them?
From them?
Yeah.
Well, we know they're going to be a physical team, a direct team. They've got quite like tall, big physical players. So yeah, we're ready for that. We're doing everything on the training pitch to prepare ourselves for that. And yeah, we're looking forward to the challenge.
Just going back to the injury, was there, during your recovery, was there a moment where you doubted about coming back? Was that never intentional?
No. That was never. I think as a person, as my mindset in general, I never really have doubt in my mind. I'm quite a positive person, so I always try to think like, what good is going to come from this? I never really have in my mind that I'm going to doubt coming back quicker or I'm not going to come back the same. I always try to keep myself positive and keep like my mind on a straight and narrow.
You've had 45 minutes with Walker. I'd be interested to hear your take on him. What was it like playing next to him in Vancouver?
Honestly, it was good. Since he's come in, he's kind of like, because he's in my position, he's a lot older than me. He's got a lot more experience than me. I can definitely lean on him. And when I do lean on him, he gives me the right advice. I feel like I can go to him for experience, and he's almost like a good mentor for me. Being a young player, he's got, like as I said before, he's got a lot more experience in the league than me. So yeah, I definitely feel like I can lean on him, like for him to guide me in certain aspects of my game, and I feel like he's done that, which I'm thankful for.
With being off so long, do you feel as though this is kind of a chance to really get your MLS career kind of up and going? I mean, you did play last year, but I mean, and you looked quite well, but then the injury kind of happened and it kind of stunted your progress. So I wonder if this is a chance to maybe not start over, but like get a fresh start in a sense to really launch yourself in MLS.
I mean, yeah, that's always the plan. Always the plan to stay fit and get consistent back-to-back games in. I think that would be the aim for a lot of players, not just myself. So yeah, I look to kick on, stay fit, and keep producing when I'm needed and when I'm called upon.
We have a few questions online, so we'll just head to James next.
Thanks, Nick. Hey, Zane.
Hi, how you doing?
Not too bad. Appreciate you taking some time for us today. Two big additions to the club this week in Josh Sargent and Benjamin Kusevich. Maybe just what does it do to the squad adding some pieces at this point, and in particular to Josh? You guys have probably known he was coming for a little while. Does that change things, having had that build up to him joining?
I mean, I would say obviously it's good having those additions to the team, because obviously they're both quite experienced players, so bringing these kind of players, like when they have this much experience, it can always help the team and bolster the team in a very positive manner.
Excellent. This was a team that really prided itself on their defensive abilities last year. You know, Robin used that word engaged more times than I can count last season, and through 2 games so far, it's 6 goals against. What have you seen over this first 180 minutes? What's working? What's not working? What are you seeing?
I mean, sometimes I guess there could be lapses of concentration which can happen, and I feel like we're just training every day, every chance we get, we're on it and trying to put our best foot forward, trying to driving the standards from one another, driving the standards for ourselves, and I think we're just working really hard behind the scenes to try and be better, I guess.
Oh, very fair, very fair. Raheem Edwards, another new addition, had some emphatic comments after the slow start in Vancouver about that not being the TFC way. I know the coaches will have their messages for you. They'll have the elements that they want to highlight in training, but I'm wondering what those conversations between players have looked like this week. Have you seen the guys really want to dig in? Is there some element of being mad or frustrated and having those conversations between each other?
I mean, yeah, it's like obviously nobody likes losing, and when you do lose, it kind of sparks a fire in you. So I think the mood around the camp has been like we need to put things right. We need to come in every day and try to rectify how we've performed. And I think since the last game, everyone's been on it. Everyone's been firing and training. The intensity's been really good, and I think we can only go up from here, really.
Any more?
How closely, if at all, have you been following Arsenal season this year?
Say that again, sorry?
How closely, if at all, have you been following Arsenal's great season this year?
I've been watching most of the games.
Yeah.
They're doing well so far. So, yeah.
I guess a good place to start would be with Josh. I see that he's fully integrated in training now. Is he going to be available for selection? What's his status for Sunday?
That's still an ongoing question. We want to make sure. Obviously, I've said this before. He was in purgatory in Norwich for a month or so, and training was inconsistent because he was training with the U21s. But we just want to make sure that he has everything he needs to be as fit, healthy, and strong as possible. So it's really a day-by-day decision on him.
It looked like Ben Hameen was also involved in training today. I guess two questions. What are you expecting from him this year, and will he be available for selection on Sunday?
He will be available. Leadership, experience. We've talked about that so much between the end of last year and the beginning of this year, talking about just getting more leadership in the team. So now you're bringing a player of his experience, the places he's played. He's currently a national team player. We certainly expect that not only will we get good play, actual football out of him, but leadership, maturity, calmness, decision-making under pressure, things like that.
Cincinnati, I know it's a short sort of sample size because they've only played twice, but what are you expecting from them on Sunday?
Yeah, they're good. They're very good. They have a couple of very interesting forwards. Obviously, Denke is well known within the league now and well respected. He does a lot of things well. He's strong. The young forward who's playing with him is a handful. Big, athletic, fast. Obviously, you can talk about Evander, who is a very, very key piece for them. He's coming back from this injury. Don't know where he is, but even the young player who's playing in his place, I think, is an extremely interesting and dynamic sort of player. So they have obviously they've lost a few people with Oriana being gone, but they seem to have replaced their wing backs with guys who are just as, if not more, athletic. And then they're big in experience and strong in the back. So it's a solid team. It's a very, very solid team who I think are quite difficult to play against.
Did you play against Pat?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you have any kind of relationship with him now, or do you?
We're cordial, friendly.
Yeah. What was he like to go up against?
He was excellent. He played with Taylor, and Taylor got a lot of the attention because Taylor obviously scored a lot of goals. But for me, part of the reason Taylor was able to score goals was because of how clever Pat was. He was a very, very, very intelligent player. And they had a really, really good tandem, a really good relationship in the way they played off each other and with each other. I always thought it was interesting that Taylor got so much praise and you didn't hear that much about Pat, and playing against both of them, I thought a lot of Taylor's success came because of Pat.
Was there anything, I mean, you obviously focus on a lot of things in training during the course of the week, but was there anything specific this week that you particularly honed in on?
You could look at the fact that we've given up 6 goals in the first 2 games. But then on the flip side of it, you say we've only given up 7 shots in 2 games. There were 7 shots on goal in 2 games, which is taking the score out. You could look at that and go, we're defending quite well. But at the end of the day, the final action, the final movement, obviously to give up 2 set-piece goals in our last game, and the third one, penalty kick, you could call also a set piece, but that was a situation created elsewhere in the different problems. But certainly for us, it's engagement in those situations. Dallas, we gave up a second phase set piece goal as well, and Cincinnati's huge. So certainly it's something that we have to pay attention to. We have talked about this week, whether we're playing Cincinnati or not this week. Set pieces would have been something that would have been addressed.
You mentioned engagement there, and that was kind of one of the sort of themes of last year that you you brought up in a good way.
You're right.
Is that, where do you think the team's engagement has been through the first 2 games?
I think not great to start, but in both games, I think we've shown how good we can be when we're engaged as the game has worn on. So obviously we're down 3-0 to Vancouver, had nothing to lose, but the level of engagement that we showed in the second half was excellent. I don't know if that's sustainable to actually press that much for an entire game, but certainly we've shown that we have the ability to do it. And you ask a great question, where is the engagement of the group? I think we've gone through varying stages of in preseason. We had games where we were incredibly engaged. We had one where I thought we weren't, and then we finished with one where I thought we were incredibly engaged. So I think it's still a group that's getting to know itself and know each other. And I think every team finds its thing. And when you have your thing, then you can your thing that you know that you're good at, thing that you know you can rely upon, then I think it's much easier to have that sort of engagement. Meaning, that we do this particularly well. So if we do this, if everything else is going wrong, we do this, and we know that this is a good thing for us. And I think we're still finding exactly what that is for us.
We have a couple of questions online. We'll just go to James.
Okay.
Thanks, Nick. Hey, Robin.
Hey, James.
It was a bit of a slow start in Vancouver, Dallas maybe a little bit less so. And if I look at this team's sort of travel itinerary for the last month, it's Spain, Toronto, Dallas, Toronto, Vancouver, back to Toronto. Are you guys feeling a little bit more settled? And does that sort of account for that sort of need to ramp up in games?
I don't know that almost sounds like a justification, and I don't really want to justify a slow start, regardless of what it may be. I think without a doubt, it's a lot to travel as much as we have. Certainly, when you think about the end of preseason, traveling back, and then going to Dallas, coming back, going to Vancouver, coming back. It's a fair amount of travel early on, but like I said, I'm certainly not the type that is prone to excuses. I feel as if we've displayed, certainly throughout the preseason at various moments, an incredibly high level of engagement, and that's what we expect from the beginning. And certainly part of the emphasis in training and part of the emphasis going into the game, and we know that when we are fully engaged, we're very difficult. We're very difficult to deal with in a lot of ways, and we just need to make sure that, as I said, we're incorporating a lot of new faces, and we're all still trying to feel our way through the relationships on the field. And I think that certainly this is a group that when we have shown that we are engaged, we are extremely difficult to play against.
No, that's definitely fair. I like to break the season up into chunks just as sort of my way of digesting it. You've got these 3 on the road to start, and then 2 of that, the first 2 of that long home stretch before the international break. How are you thinking about this period? Is this really just that coming together period with so many new faces?
It's hard to, when you say that, it sounds like it's okay to not pick up points. We're certainly not content to look at it as a feeling out period. Meanwhile, we're dropping points. So we need to, the objective obviously is to win every game. And in order to do so, we feel like we have to do more of the things we're doing well, be more engaged in certain situations, set pieces and that sort of thing, to not put ourselves in a hole. So there is a period of us getting to know each other, but again, I can't use that as an excuse for not getting points.
Robin, if we could just go over the injuries. It looked like DeAndre and Nick's were out involved in full training. Are they close to coming back?
Yeah, they're close. They're getting closer for sure. Both guys had a really good week, to be quite honest, and they're both coming along really well.
What about Pereira and Wingo?
I'm not exactly sure on the timeline on Henry, not 100%. Matthias has been steadily improving over the last 2 weeks, and I expect to have him in training somewhat next week and continue to ramp up from there, assuming he continues to do well.
And is there any sort of new timeline on Theo in terms of like when he might be able to come back?
No, well, he had the surgery a week ago. It was about a week. And it was probably 8 weeks from the surgery.
Okay. And one last one, if I can. In the first 2 games, can you maybe just explain the reasoning behind playing Kosi as a center back? Why not give, just devil's advocate, why not give Laz or Adam a shot to play alongside Walkerman? What was the thinking?
Well, Kosi played a lot toward the end of last year and did quite well in certain instances, and had a good solid preseason. And so the reason is that the perception is certainly based on how he'd been playing that he was ahead of those 2.